Mechanics at work, man. We live.
Sundays and Wednesdays, yeah. 8 o'clock on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. It's the crew and you. Let's go.
You can't get any better.
Best thing about it, the way he did it the right way.
With the crew and you, to the crew and you.
Do y'all have anything to say about
What up, baby? Welcome to the crew and you. Congratulations to my dog, Chuck Little John, the OG.
Y'all didn't know I've been changing hats all night, have you?
No.
You've been doing that. And so look, let me tell you, those dudes were the first one that I ever seen with the full tracksuit and no drawers. You know what I'm saying?
Understand that you can be at the bottom, you can be anything you want to be, and when that happens, you can be a champion like me.
Can you imagine 100 people just all yelling?
With the crew and you, to the crew and you. With the crew and you, to the crew and you.
What up, baby? Welcome to the crew and you. I'm your boy G. To my right hand side, we got the Caters, nastiest curveball himself, Corey Davis. I like that. And underneath us both, man, we have the OG, Mr. Controversial himself, Chuck Little John. What's going on, my guys?
He damn so is.
What's going on, fella? I'm Mr. Controversial.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what your name say, OG.
Hey, look, yes.
Yeah.
You thinking me and G?
Yeah, y'all come up with some controversial topics too, now.
We come up with. You're constant, consistent.
Yeah. You are the main trigger for that, man. So,
hey, what?
Hey, the name fits, bro. Name fits. What's up, Rodney Little John, James Little John, and anybody else that may be out there, man? Everybody on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Remember, when you come to the channel, bring a friend, tell a friend, and when you come, don't come by yourself. This is episode 9, season 5. We have a great show for you all today, man. As I told you all on Wednesday, we will be having a special guest. My buddy, my homie, Mr. Nick Long. Will be joining us later on today, man, on this podcast. So be looking out for him. For all you baseball heads, we're going to get some insight on what it takes to actually make it and what it takes to actually scout. You know, I don't think we've ever had that inside knowledge of what it takes to, follow somebody, man. And so we're going to get, a little background on, baseball, man. So looking forward to that. And then, of course, man, we got to talk a little bit of the women's Olympic team has come out. And, we'll jump into that, man, and see how you all feel about the people that are on that roster. And then, of course, we got to talk about game 2 of the NBA Finals. Game 1 was a domination by the Boston Celtics. What adjustments do you think the Dallas Mavericks need to make in order to tie this series up 1-1 going back to Dallas? All right. So those are our topics, man. And if we have time, we'll jump into some more stuff. But let's go ahead and give our wonderful sponsor a huge shout out before we jump right in, fellas. All right. Let's get it. Are you in the market for a new home or looking to refinance your conventional, FHA, or VA loan? The crew and you have the perfect guy for you, the mortgage guy, Alvin Jameson. That's right, Alvin Jameson at alvinjameson.com. You can also reach him as we do at 404-587-9033. Financing a home can be one of the biggest investments you can make. Go with the one the crew and you trust, Alvin Jameson. And when you reach out to him, let him know you heard it from the crew and you. Thank you once again, Mr. Alvin Jameson, for always being a wonderful sponsor of our very first segment. All right, fellas, man. How was y'all weekend been, man? Before we jump into it.
Great. Always too short, though.
They ain't over yet. No. They ain't over yet. Don't say that. No,
it's 8 o'clock on Sunday. It's over.
Look, mine don't end until I get in the bed. Look, mine is still going on.
Let me tell you something. I'm doing what y'all. I'm doing what y'all did 10 and 20 and 30 years ago. I'm going to little pools, kiddie pools, heat outside. Then I bought a slip and slide for my kids outside, and then I'm like, hey, all right, y'all ready to pack it up? No, we still want to stay. Okay, I'm burning up out there. Listen, at the Y, but this is what I signed up for. I understand, but yeah, that's where I am. I'm 100 degrees on the inside.
Fully cooked. Okay. All right. That's what's up. That was up. Hey, everybody out there in the chat, man. I see we have people on, man. Put your name in the chat so we can recognize you. This is an interactive show. So if y'all have questions as well, man, send them in. Put them out there. We'd like to see what you all have. Kanisha says, man, this man was asleep at the pool.
Oh, listen, I ain't gonna lie to you. Oh my God, listen. I ain't gonna lie, I was tired. Look. At first, my kids asked me, they were like, Dad, you gonna go with us? My brother got him this pass to this pool thing or whatever. I said, yeah, I'm going. I'm with it. I'm here. I'm with it. We get there because at first, I ain't gonna lie to you. I was just going to, just hang out. My wife go, so you ain't gonna bring no shorts. You ain't gonna get in the pool at all. I'm like, I gotta go. You know what? You ain't gotta go. But you know what that means when they do that, right?
Oh yeah,
you know what?
Go.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I'm like, because at first I was like, I just be chilling, what I'm saying? When y'all get back, we do something. You know what, Corey? Just go ahead and stay. No, you can stay. All right. Let me get my shorts. So I get there, getting on the side. I put my feet in the water. She go, that's all you're going to do, put your feet in it. Hey, I'm here. What else do you want me to do? You know what I'm saying? Then, as we sitting there, I'm playing with my daughter, throwing stuff. She's trying to go on the water, throwing stuff. Little boy come over about 5, 6, start getting close to my door. Hey, little boy, he go, I can go on the water. I don't care if you can go on the water. You two trying to impress me? There's dad to come over there. I want to talk to your daddy, the little 5-year-old. Get away from my daughter. But it was cool, but I'm just saying, yes. Then I said, all right, daddy gonna go over here under the shade real quick. I took up my phone, because I made some cheesesteaks yesterday as I was looking at how to make cheesesteaks, and then, dude, I was out of there. Yeah. My son come up. I go, was I asleep? He go, yeah. Fell asleep. Yes, I did. I'm sorry. I'm tired.
Hey, it happens, bro. It happens, man.
At a public pool.
You a bold man. Man.
I was supposed to swim with the kids, but you know what? See, that was the thing. I was supposed to go as a decoy to keep the kids while my wife was supposed to be talking about reading a book. No.
You went too.
Oh, there we go.
All right,
man. So we got our boy in the background, man. So we're gonna bring him on. So everybody get ready, man. Get ready. We are bringing on one of the coolest cats in the ATL, man. This guy, man, I met him a couple years ago, maybe about 2 years ago now. And when I tell you, I don't think I've ever met somebody immediately and known he was this cool. This cat, man, was just laid back, humble. No, Corey, you were super cool too. You were super cool. When I met you, you had everything on. You had uniform on. This cat had on shorts. He was just chillaxing, like flip flops. Just cooling, man. But let's bring him on, my guy, Nick Long. What's up, Brody?
What's happening? Gee, I appreciate that, man. That was warm welcoming. No, I appreciate it. What's up, fellas? Corey, OG, Mr. Controversial. Good.
Hey man, listen, I'm excited, bro. This is my first love baseball. I'm glad you're here, brother. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to be here. Thank you for the invite. I really appreciate it. And when G told me about this a few weeks back that he has a podcast, and I said, well, let me find out what the name of it was, and let me kind of subscribe and like and follow. Obviously, I'm in the car a lot, so I had to tune in to you guys, and and need I say, I needed to go back and do a little research. So I listened to some old episodes and kind of did some homework on you guys, see how you all interact and everything. And I will say this though, it's I'm locked in. I appreciate you told me about it, the crew and you, the TCY. So yeah.
That's what's up, man. My man did some homework. And we see you got the lovely wife out here, Miss Jessica. What's going on?
Yeah, she's chimed in. Yeah.
Welcome to the TCY family. Welcome, man. Welcome.
Yeah.
So Nick, man, we're gonna start off right here. I just want to know, first of all, I know you a little bit, but I don't know that much about you. So I do want to get to know you a little better, man. Let's start there, man. Where are you originally from, Nick?
Yeah. I'm from originally from Columbus, Georgia. Shout out C-Town. That's how we call it back down that way. So yeah, Columbus, Georgia.
Okay.
About an hour and a half south of Atlanta, right in the heart of the city. About an hour and a half south. So
okay. And did you play baseball or you play any other sports besides baseball?
Well, yeah, growing up, I played them all. Basketball, baseball, football, and football and baseball kind of took the reins for me, and I was baseball and football all the way through my freshman year in high school. And I kind of joke and tease and say I got tall after my freshman year. I didn't get wide and thick, so football I kind of had to sit football down, and it was just baseball from 10th grade on. So yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. Y'all got any questions, Big Dog, before I jump in some more?
No, keep going. We're gonna get there.
Okay. So in Columbus, Georgia, man, I actually have some family out in Columbus, Georgia as well. Did you go and play college ball? Did you get scholarships for baseball as well?
Yeah. So it's I actually did not play college ball. And I'll get into that here in a little bit. I did commit and sign a letter of intent to the University of Georgia. And I remember going on my visit back in the fall of 2000. And obviously, I'm aging myself a little bit here, but went back on the visit to the University of Georgia up in Athens. And
what year?
Well, I graduated in 2001. There we go. So all the math majors can tell. Okay, where we are with this. But yeah, so went on that visit, and I grew up a Bulldog fan. Obviously, it was football first, and learned about baseball a little later on, and so I went on the visit, enjoyed that, committed there, and I had all my sights set on going to the University of Georgia at the fall of would have been 2001. Okay. Baseball had other means and other motives. Went out my senior year and had we had a somewhat pretty successful senior season, and I ended up getting drafted in the in Major League Baseball, the amateur draft, 2001, 4th round by the then Montreal Expos, which is now the Washington Nationals. And so I forewent that my commitment to Georgia and signed out of high school. So I was a young buck playing in the minor leagues with the Montreal Expos back in 2001. So
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
I had a friend in high school, same as you. Well, coming out of high school, got drafted by the Padres. His name named LaJuan Rice, and I went to Magnet High School, and I played school ball, but at the same time, park ball with one of our mutual friends, me and G, mutual friends, Quincy Carter, and I was telling him as a kid, Quincy, he can confer with this. There was a time in a man, like my dad said, there was a time in a young man's life where reality and ability meet. And I thought I was a good ball player. He's like, hey man, you're a good ball player, but Quincy, great. There's a bunch of people over there trying to scout him, looking at. Not one scout came by the house. If they did, they passed by my house to get to Quincy's house. But being a scout, I noticed that there were a lot of people that used to come and look at him. If you don't mind me asking questions, I know research is the first portion of your game, or a big portion of your game. What do you do, or how did you get into this? I guess this honestly, it's a lifestyle being a scout. I know because you're on the road. Tell us how you got started with this.
Yeah. No, great question there, Corey. Yeah, so I played from 2001 until 2006, and all minor league ball didn't make to the actual show, but I tell you this, I enjoyed every minute of it, and the experiences I had and the friends I met along the way. Some lifelong friends that we still stay in contact to this day. But yeah, so 2006 was it for me. I 2007, around 2007, I moved up here to Atlanta, and went to Georgia State. So how baseball does it is, and now it's in everyone's contract. So what baseball does is you sign a letter of intent, or I'm sorry, not letter of intent, but you sign that contract, and they give you 4 years of school. So yeah, to typically now the way it's done now, they give it to whatever school that that you were committed to. For me back then, it would have been 4 years of what University of Georgia was.
Okay.
And so they pay for that, which is an incredible thing. And we can get into that a little more.
And the organization pays for it?
Yeah, the organization pays for it. Yeah. Well, it's the organization in conjunction with Major League Baseball. It's now the draft will be coming up next month in July. Everyone that signs out of high school, and even the ones that sign out of college, if they got another year or 2 years left, they have what's inside their contract is whatever it takes to finish. So for the high school kids to sign, it takes them 4 years, or they get 4 years of college. Say we draft and sign a junior in college now, we give him an additional year to use that to finish his schooling, which is great. It's incredible.
That's incredible.
But yeah, so I went to Georgia State. So from 2007 until I finished it, of course, I took a little longer than what it should have been. But and I started working in retail. So I was working at Hibbett Sports, and I don't want to give shameless plugs here. I'm sorry, G, my bad. I like retail. I like it. And it shouldn't be a shameless plug because I'm not affiliated with them anymore. So, but I was working retail, and I came in at the entry level. I started kind of just like a sales associate, and I'm young, I'm in school, and in early 20s, and all right, well, I'm working in a shoe store, and talking to. Selling shoes, selling equipment, and I worked my way up. It was kind of like a fast track. I worked my way up to assistant manager, and then within a year and a half, I was the store manager. I was running the store, and so running the store, and here's another kind of, I guess we call it joke that I like to say. I went there to work 2 years so I finished school. I ended up staying 7 years. So I like that. I tell folks to stay 5.5 years too long because my goal was to work until I finished school. But I got comfortable. I'm running the store. I'm making salary, and it's like, all right, well, I'm kind of comfortable. But on my 30th birthday, somewhere around 30, I said, you know what, things got to change.
Oh, you're only 30. Okay. Now we get it.
Yeah, I'm only 30. So things got to change, so I reached out to, made some contacts, and I have some contacts, and reached out to a real close friend of mine. And he actually works with us now too. And I will give him a shout out. Sam Hughes. He's a national cross checker with us and with the Giants organization. And and at the time he was working with the Cubs, and we've been friends for a long time. He came to my house 24 years ago. And sat down. What I'm doing now with some of these kids, he sat down in front of myself and my parents, and so we just kind of built a bridge and a bond there. And so I reached out to him. I said, Sam, hey man, he'd been reaching out to me, every other year or so. Like, Nick, you ready to do this? You ready to do this? And that time I didn't know. I know scouting, but I don't know. And but like I said, I hit 30. I was like, yeah, Sam, I got to make some changes, man. I got to do. I'm ready to go into what what you're doing, and I'm ready to buckle down and let's do it. So he got me hooked up, and long story short, Major League Baseball, they used to have a scouting bureau, and which was put on by actual Major League Baseball, and they used to put on a scout school at the time, 2 weeks, 14 days out in Arizona, and 7 days in the classroom, 7 days out there on the field. And so we learned from the terminology, the language, how to present, how to talk about players, then going out how to scout players, some of the things to look for. Wow. And of course, I took a liking to it, and so that was around 2014, 2015. The Pirates called me and offered me a position to come into the office and work. I was working on the amateur side, scouting side, but I was up in the office up in Pittsburgh, and I said, yeah, I got to do it. I got to make this change. So get my foot in the door, and that was it. That was the actual foot, the little piece that I needed. And shout out to my wife Jessica. She helped. She was my backbone at the time, and we were just boyfriend and girlfriend then. But she was my backbone, and gave me that nudge, and she, myself right along with her, and my parents and my brother, we packed up, hauled everything up to Pittsburgh. I was up there for about 7 months, and what it kind of put it in layman's terms, it wasn't really an internship, but that they don't call it that, but that's pretty much what it was. So it was running out at the end of the season. It was running out. I was like, okay, well, I got to find something here. And so once again, I called my buddy Sam Hughes up, and he was right on it too. Nick, hey, reach out to this individual, reach out to that individual. We line you up some interviews, boom, boom, boom. And end up that particular off season, I end up going out to, again, shout out to Jessica. We teamed up and got a ticket out to San Diego where the winter meetings were. Okay. And I said, and I just it was one of those, like, I'm bum rushing the winter meetings. I got to get in front of some people, and I felt like, hey, my personality, my charm, and then, hey, I know this game. I'm gonna have, I can make some waves and this, that, and the other. So the Padres called at the time, and we they hired me. My first 6 years, so I'm in year 9. It's my 9th draft. It'll come up here next month. Oh, wow. My first 6 years, I was out in California. I did Southern California. I did Orange County down to San Diego. So basically, I was in the backyard for the Padres. And times, things, you get married, and your wife's business is in Atlanta. It's like, all right, I gotta get back home. We got to, some things got to move around, and fortunately, and by the grace of God, and obviously the Giants, I'm super grateful for the Padres as well. Things will open up, and I had an opportunity to come back home 2021. And so the Giants brought me back home, and here we are now, going in my third year, or, about to finish up my third year with the Giants, and it's been great. I know I kind of gave you a whole bunch, Corey, but I hope that kind of explained a little bit in detail. So.
My co-host is signed.
We have some technical difficulties over there with Corey right now. But you gave us some great nuggets right there, Nick. All right, he's back. There you go.
So the term, which is one of my best movies, Moneyball.
Yeah.
All right. So with analytics in baseball, being a scout, how realistic is Moneyball, or how they put a team together now using analytics versus like a scout like yourself who sees something, who watches, who does the necessary background on a person, going to schools, going to see a person. How does analytics and what you do put itself together to put a team together?
I tell you, Kate, they intertwine and intermingle, or at least they should. They do, and they should. And I'll explain that. It's almost like peanut butter and jelly. They go hand in hand. It's the way the game is now is I would say it's very analytical, but it's also, we haven't gotten away from the actual scout driven and hitting the ground, hitting the pavement, going out, seeing players, determining if what the numbers say, determining if that's is true from what our eyes say. And it's been a useful tool. Analytics, the aspect of it, and it's a bunch where I'm still learning today. And whenever I can have conversations with individuals that are discussing analytics, I kind of chime in or not necessarily chime in, I tune in rather and listen to it, because it helps make what you see sometimes. It helps make it make sense. Whereas I in the background I got University of Tennessee and Evansville on, and they're playing in the Super Regionals. For the trip to go to Omaha for the College World Series. So there's a couple of players. I covered East Tennessee, so I covered the University of Tennessee. So a couple of guys there that I have tons of interest in, and you see those guys, and it's like, whether it's guys that they got incredible exit velo, exit velo through the roof, or guys that are just, squaring up the baseball or the swing and miss, chase, all those things. It's like, okay, well, I see it with my eyes and I hear it. Okay, now let's quantify it and how it makes sense. And okay, if it does make sense. So, okay, well, I see that, this particular kid he's smashing the baseball. He's it's going left to right, all over the field, and the ball's coming off good, and his base hits, and now go back and look at the analytic aspect of it. It's like, well, yeah, no wonder his exit velo is 95 to 100, 105 off the barrel, and it makes sense. And obviously, I won't get too nerdy here, but that's where it kind of it meshes, and so. There is pushback, the scout driven, and I like to think that I'm kind of leaning towards that scout driven, but also I am welcoming the analytics because we better learn it. It's here, it's here to stay, and you got some organizations that really just solely rely on analytics, and which sometimes can make it hard for some of the scouts. But I've been blessed to be here with an organization with last two organizations to where we're heavy into actually hitting the pavement, going out and seeing the games and giving my raw opinion, what I see and how it, the numbers say one thing, but the number's not going to tell me what's inside here. Or the number's not going to tell me what's inside here. The number's just going to say that, okay, well, yeah, he's got a such and such batting average, or exit below this, the miles per hour off the mound is this particular way. But a lot of things that it just kind of we use those to make it make sense, I should say. So
So y'all do have them old school cats there, like somebody
absolutely.
That's 65, 70 years old that ain't worried about what the computer say, but what the eyes tell them.
Absolutely, and it's fun talking to those guys too. You'll get around them, and they can be stubborn, which is in baseball. I think you got to be in some aspects. So to sit around and listen to those guys and actually use both ears. Don't do a whole lot of talking. Just listen to them, and you get so many different nuggets. And it's so much I've learned from the old guards that whether it was out west or even here back in Georgia, this very useful today. So like you say, Corey, it's you get those guys that are they're super not like I don't care what these numbers say. Here's what you gotta respect that, and I like it. So
Appreciate that. Nice.
That's good stuff, man. Stacey Ward said, "So proud of you guys. All love, fam."
Yeah, that's my cousin. He chimed in too. One of my cousins. Yeah. Shout out to you, Spook dog.
That's what's up, Spook.
Yeah.
OG.
Hey, Nick, welcome aboard, man. Thanks for taking time to come on the show. But based on the background you gave us, I guess I have a couple of questions. My question is, what advice would you give to middle/high school kids that are trying to be more aware, to be more aware, be out there, be seen more? I guess they have that talent, they may have the talent, but I guess they're not portraying themselves out there, what the case may be. And based on your background, what advice would you give them?
I'll say a couple of things, and this kind of goes without being said, but it needs to be said. They got to play, they got to practice, and they got to work on their craft. And when you're obviously playing is one thing, and practicing and working on your craft is another thing. Mm-hmm. When you're doing those things, the buzz is out, and we hear about it. Colleges, they hear about things, but there are obviously huge instruments that we can use. That and when I say we, the kids can use, middle school and high school, that they can use to kind of get themselves out there. Obviously, baseball is an expensive sport. We all know, and we'll get into that. And it's hard, especially on the inner city. The ones that look like us that don't necessarily have the financial means to bounce around and do different things, bounce around all over the country and play. But if you have that, you can get out and you participate in as many tournaments as you can, as many showcases as you can, but there are, like I said, going back to the instruments that we have that we can use is social media, guys. Like, hey, Twitter, X, it's a for all that it does, it's a helpful and useful tool that guys like myself, and more importantly, colleges and institution programs, they use Twitter like it's almost like they pick up the phone and having a conversation with someone, because you can get easy access to Twitter and videos. So I would recommend these kids upload your videos. When you're at work, when you're in the cages, you're outside, you're hitting on the tee, you're throwing a bullpen, you're playing, and you have somebody there that can film you. Upload that video on Twitter, your social media, the Instagrams, the Facebooks. Upload that video, because here's the thing: scouts and college coaches, recruiters, we scour these social media platforms to find talent, for lack of a better way of putting it. That's what we do. And there's you got Twitter, you got Facebook, Instagram, and those things, but you also have where it's more just athlete driven is what's called Field Level. And Field Level is now granted, it is something that it's an engine where you can pay for it. They have different subscriptions, different ones where you can just upload video but what's so great about Field Level and entities like Twitter is coaches, it creates I guess a bridge, so to speak, to where now that coach that's he's on campus practicing his kids, working out his kids, the players. He can easily sit back in his office and pull up Field Level and see, okay, well, who's these next tier guys, whether it's the 2026, 2027 guys that we need to go after. And when you have video uploaded, it's a useful tool. So again, with the great question, LG, with that, I would say is just upload as much video as you can, and because we are checking it out. We look at those things. We use it to gather names and we'll see certain things where certain moves, certain twitches in the body, like, oh, I like that, or that's interesting. I want to kind of get to know that a little bit more. And it's obviously easy tool for us, to reach out. Field Level, again, it's a bridge to where almost like a communication board also, where athletes and programs and college coaches can communicate with one another. So
great answer. Just to stay on that real fast, Nick, before we get off of that, when they do post a lot of stuff on their Twitter page or their social media page, are there red flags also that they should not be posting on there, since scouts and coaches are scouring these social media?
Absolutely, G, and I appreciate you bringing that up, and we have countless conversation with kids about that in particular, and what you'll see now when the younger kids in high school and even college days, there's ways they circumvent that, where they have an athlete page where it's nothing but what they're doing as an athlete, their sports, which is great. And kids want to be kids, so they want to have another page where they're having a good time, whatever the case. But I will say this though: be mindful always, and I look straight to the camera and say that, like, hey, we see all that stuff. I got to be honest, guys. Like, and where we are at our level, Major League Baseball, teams, we hire individuals to kind of go and scrub social media, and we're not saying like scrubbing like, okay, what he did last month, what he did last year. Now we're going back to, what you doing in middle school? Okay, you post some things in middle school. Yeah, it goes that far deep, because it gives an insight to, like, okay, well, hey, maybe what is this guy? Like, who is he? Like, what kind of guy are we getting? I love what I see on the field, but what else am I getting from this kid? Is there some things, some red flags, like you mentioned, G? There's some things that as organizations or as programs / institutions that necessarily don't agree with, and it's they move on, and we do the same. We move on. It's one of those where we see some things that's kind of concerning, and it's like, all right, well, I don't want to explain that to my superiors. My superiors don't want to explain that to their superiors, and so forth. So we move on. So yes, if we understand, kids want to have a good time and show and this, that, and the other, and interact with their peer groups on social media platforms, but just keep in mind that it's not only your friends and your followers that are watching. It's so many others, especially those, again, coming from the athletes, especially the individuals that are trying to go on and further and play at a higher level, whether it's pro baseball or college as well too. So just be mindful, kids, what you post, and you athletes, and just be mindful what you post and what you tag and what you like, things like that, because we see it all. There's nothing that goes unnoticed, I should say.
With that being said, all right, I coached for T-League, Little League Baseball for my kids for 4, maybe 5 years. With kids come parents. And a lot of times the parents have a big influence on the kids. And sometimes you were saying, outside of looking at just what the kid can do, their social media and outside things, the parents can kind of put you in a different place. Have you ever encountered a situation where you didn't want to, I guess I ain't gonna say didn't want to touch a kid, but didn't want to get near a kid because of what they brought with them, which, you know, sometimes as a parent?
Yeah, that's that, and that's a tough one too. That's one where, you know, you I guess at first thought you're thinking, okay, well, how far did the apple fall from the tree? You know, and that's one of those where is this something we can deal with? Is this something that could be a problem down the road, down the line? The parent aspect, the family aspect is one of those where I won't necessarily say it takes the back burner, but it's a component that we'll use and dig into a little deeper, but it's not one that necessarily is just gonna, you know, shoot a kid in the foot, so to speak. Okay. And it's not one that's just going to like, okay, well, we striking the name off because of the baggage, so to speak. Because now we, you know, and just speaking, can't speak for, you know, the college programs, but for professional baseball and you know, organizations aspect, now we kind of, if we go out and sign, whether it's a college kid or a high school kid, now we're kind of in that zone where, all right, well, now he's ours, so to speak. Right. And I know it kind of sounds, it sounds bad, but he's ours in the sense where we can kind of get him away from that, you know, the things that we feel like, okay, maybe whether it's holding him back or kind of deterring what he deems and what we deem to be his ultimate ceiling. So, you know, you get those kids where, yeah, they come with some baggage, whether it's family or friends or whatever the case. And it's one of those that we do a ton of research on and ultimately determine, is this going to be a problem? Or is this going to be a problem that we cannot deal with, that we do not want to deal with? And that's a point where, not going to say necessarily a point of contention, but it's something that, again, we're doing that work and research as well. So much that goes into it behind the scenes than us just sitting at a game, watching it, and, you know, in the stands and, you know, with stopwatch and radar gun and notepad and pen, whatever the case. There's so much more that goes behind the scenes. And so just like, you know, the kids are going out doing research on, you know, that particular history project that they have or that science project they got to do, you know, we are doing the same thing. So we're doing that same research, whether it's in the kid's background, not just the background on the field, but also the background off the field. And we kind of try to dig deep on those guys too, on that particular knowledge too. So,
wow, nice.
Good stuff, man. Brandon Long says, "What's good, family?" Yeah, Nick is doing a jam up job. Brandon Long here.
Long, shout out to you, bro.
My guy CP is on as well. What's up, CP? And Kanisha Davis, man, says, "I love that social media can level the playing field for kids that don't have money for travel ball or to be in the high dollar programs." So that's great, man. That's great. And Eric Thornton also adds in, it's great that their parents can't automatically disqualify a kid.
Right.
And your wife says, yes, Twitter, especially for players, is great. They can get known from a retweet. That is absolutely true. I actually coach AAU basketball out here in Georgia, and I put a lot of our clips, a lot of our videos out on Twitter, X, and got a lot of interest in our players from that. Had them come out to the places that we played at then after seeing clips of what we put out there. So yeah, great avenue for, like you said, getting eyes on them. So that's good stuff, man. Good stuff. OG.
Yeah, so I guess you giving us the good side of recruiting and scouting and everything, but has there ever been, what's been the toughest situation, or the toughest kid, toughest team, just toughest situation you've been in, just going out and doing the scouting? Everything can't always be good.
I know, right?
No, it's not. It's not all. It's not all rose petals as it seems. Like, you know, I say, you know, whether it's fans or parents or friends, they see us at games, and, you know, we got big smiles on our face, and we have a good time, and yeah, we wake up and go to bed. I tell everybody, hey, I wake up and go to a baseball game every day, and you know what's more fun than that?
Right.
But yes, there can be challenges in that too, whether it's challenges, we're in the car lot. So I got challenges where I'm on the road, challenges, checking in and out of hotels, just bouncing around, covering, my area that I have, challenges with, for lack of a better way of saying this, you got challenges with parents and the actual athlete themselves too. You get some cases where you have individuals that just won't necessarily open up, and it's not the kid, so to speak. Sometimes kids don't have that, open kind of personality where it's they're where it's introverted or they're just not into, people. They go out and they play a sport and that's what they do. And but outside of that, it's just not as easy to kind of break that shell with the athletes as well as the parents. And there have been times where, you go in and you do an in-home visit with these kids and the attention level is, now mind you, I'm going in with, at the youngest, these are high school seniors up to, all college age. So I'm going in with some of these kids and you got kids that just one, aren't attentive, two, just don't have any care in the world of what I'm saying or what I'm asking or what we're trying to kind of get out from this. Imagine you like, hey, I'm a Major League Baseball scout that works for the San Francisco Giants.
Right.
I like to think that comes with a little cachet. I'm coming to your house. I deem you as a prospect, and I want to have a conversation with you. Want to get to know you some, but you're gonna get that. Well, kids just like it's all right. Well, all right. Well, kids that are late to meetings.
No,
Red flag, guys. Yeah, kids are late to meetings, and then you got kids that just again, it's not necessarily a complete ding that kids don't open up because again, I completely get it. Some kids just don't have that personality aspect, but we have to find ways and I challenge myself yearly to go out and get to know these kids and do it in on their terms. Okay. That's where it becomes a little easier, OG. Okay. And what I mean by that is what these kids love to do more than anything. They love to go play. Mm-hmm. So if I want to sit down with a kid, and sometimes you just take the parents out of the situation altogether. The college kids, you take the parent out of the situation because they're not there. We're meeting with kids on their own. Right. The high school kids, parents are there and you want to get to know them too. But sometimes you can just take them out of the situation. And so what I do is I'm going to go to this indoor facility where this kid is working out at. He loves that. Yeah. I can get an honest kid there. Yeah. He's going out, whether he's hitting with, and I like to do it where he's hitting with a couple of his friends. Now he's opened up a little more. So you can break that shell that he's kind of surrounding himself with, where I'm on his terms. I'm in his playing field now, and still young enough to where I can bounce around and I get out and have kind of some regular conversations, and we don't talk anything about baseball. But in the back, I'm getting to know this kid because now I see where the challenge was. This kid don't want to talk baseball. He just want to go play baseball, and it's like, all right, well, let me get him while he's, with his kids, where he's going to work out, where he's in the gym or he's in the cages, he's throwing a bullpen, whatever the case. And now we can just talk and have a conversation. And but yeah, that's a challenge there, OG, where you can't get through some of these kids and get to them, I should say. Obviously, doing our schedule, going back to that, where the bumping up and down the roads and highways and byways is a challenge in itself. We like to kind of map things out, whether it's a week in advance or 2 weeks in advance. And in my particular area, it's small enough yet big enough to where I'm in the South, so the weather don't always play a part with us, so to speak. We have those days where if it rains, we may be rained out. So, but it's all right. Well, I don't have to plan. Where you got some area scouts that have 4 and 5 states that they cover. They got to plan a month in advance. And all right, well, I'm gonna be in Indiana this particular month, so I need to pick off these particular things. Whereas I cover all of Georgia and the Eastern Time Zone in Tennessee. My furthest part of my area is over in East Tennessee, Johnson City. Okay. It's a strong 5-hour, 4.5, 5-hour drive. Yeah. But if something comes up and I miss it, all right, it's no biggie. Like, all right, it's not the end of the world. So I'll bounce back at some other point. Whereas you got guys that have 10-hour, 12-hour drives. Well, maybe not 12 hours, but 10-hour drives. It's like they got to really map that out. Where it's like, all right, well, if I'm going over here, this is it.
Yeah.
Whereas I can get back to, to Johnson City or down about Ulster or Statesboro, Savannah. I can get back there relatively easy, So that could be a challenge too. OG, I hope I answered that, to the best I could there.
Yeah, you did.
That's good stuff, man. I like the fact that you said that you take them into their comfort zone.
Yes.
And work with them, man. A lot of people don't do that. They try to get them in their own, their own comfort, and then you miss out on the opportunity to get to know a kid. So, man, that's great stuff.
You really do miss out, G, and that's key too for what we do. It's to get the best out of these kids. You want to get them as most comfortable as they can. Mm-hmm. Again, the college guys who've been on their own for 2+ years already, 3 years, whatever the case, then those they know what's going on. They got an idea. They've been living on their own. They know what's what. This isn't new to them. You get those high school guys where they've traveled a ton and traveled and played baseball, but to actually sit down and have a formal conversation, they don't really know how to do that. Right. So to break through that, let's not sit down and have that formal conversation. I'm gonna meet you at the cages in November, in December, because you're doing what you want to do then, and you got a big smile on your face. So do I. Yeah. Let's break bread and let's get to know one another. So
that's good. That's good. That's good stuff. Let me ask you this, man. Has there been a player that you went to stand on the table for your team, and they went the other direction, and then you see that player out there balling like I knew it. I knew I had him. I knew I picked him right.
Yeah. G, you use some. You know what's going on. You use some terminology there, standing on the table, pounding the table. That's terminology that we use, and there have been each year. I will say there's guys that like, hey, I really like this guy. I really like this guy. You got times where you love a kid, you love multiple kids, a couple of kids, I should say, and they just get plucked before we pick. Okay. And you got other kids where they're gonna be there at our pick. Yeah. And it's like, oh man, they there. Like, hey, let's, I'm on the phone. Let's make it happen. Let's do it. Pull that magnet. Let's go. Let's call his name. Yeah. And they go in another direction. Oh. I can go back to 2018. I'm out in California. Okay. And with the Padres at the time, and kid by the name of Cole Wynn. He's a pitcher. He's in the Texas Rangers organization. Actually made his Major League debut this year. Earlier this year. He's back down in AAA now, but he made his Major League debut earlier this year. Okay. And that particular year, I want to say we picked maybe somewhere between 7, 8, and 9. Mm-hmm. And he was right in our wheelhouse. And obviously done a ton of work with the kid, got to know him very well. The family, kid moved from Colorado to Southern California so he can be in warm climates to play baseball and actually show, his actual the talent that he had on a bigger stage. And so just kind of got to know him very well and brought him to a workout. He had a great private workout too. He had a great workout. And I'm like, all right, well, yeah, we're rocking and rolling. Right? Draft day comes up, we get closer and closer to that pick. I'm standing by, and he doesn't get called. We don't take him. He ended up going maybe four or five picks behind us. I want to say the Rangers may have picked like 15th that year, 12 and 15 that year, and he went behind us. And it's one of those where like, oh man, I love that kid because again, a pitcher from Colorado. We all know the weather out there is great. Moves to Southern California. You're thinking like, oh man, I'm gonna get the best out of this kid, and he showed it too. Each outing, each week, he posted. Wow. He started here, and I tell you, by the end of the season, he plateaued. Oh, I'm sorry, he reached a peak, and he kept climbing. Right. And we use that like he posts every single week, and it's like, oh, he had everything. He had the intangibles, he had the ingredients. It's like one of those guys, like, yeah, man, he's gonna. I see him well in that Padre uniform, but it didn't happen, and that's the way the game goes, and we went a different direction, and the guy that we ended up taking that year, he's actually pitching in the major leagues too, and he actually got called up, or he made it up a lot sooner than the guy that the Cole Wynn kid, but it's one of those where you don't get too wrapped up in it because again, it's a business, and we all understand this, and you got. We use 50 states, and with Puerto Rico and Canada is all in the amateur draft. here in July. So the entire nation is, you know, I'm thinking I got one particular kid in my area, or two or three particular kids in my area that I love to have, but they got to match up with, you know, the other states in the other area. And it's one of those where, like I said, you don't get too wrapped up into it. It's like, all right, well, we take the best player. So, you know, it's one of those like, oh man, he did the same thing. He did the same thing in minor leagues too. That's why he, you know, he's fortunate to make his major league debut this year. He just went out and just continued to rise each outing. So yeah,
that's awesome. That's awesome. I know it makes you feel good when you see somebody that you had high hopes for, and you see them going like, yes, I
absolutely. I tell you to kind of, and I know you didn't ask this one, but I got to mention this one. The year before that, I was in California, obviously, and the Twins, they had the first pick. We picked third that year, 2017. And the Twins took Royce Lewis out of high school, out of J. Sir High School in Orange County. And when I tell you, you talk about loving a kid, love that kid. Yeah. Got to know him. My first year was 2016 out there. I got to know him very well. He was a junior. And so I was going to his high school games. He's a junior now. So this is towards the end of the spring. I'm going to games, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm scouting him as a junior. I know he's got time, but I'm still scouting him as a junior. And I was like, the way I'm going to go about doing this, I was on it early. I saw he made a couple of plays. You know, I'm scoping out the crowd, found who his dad was. Yeah. Locked eyes with his dad. Like, okay, well, make sure I introduce myself. Right, mind you, guys, it's junior year. So we still had a whole nother year. After that game, I go up to him, introduce myself to the dad, and Will Lewis actually is his name. And he introduced himself, and we became kind of cohorts at from that moment. Okay. And I said, okay, well, kind of foreseeing, I should say, like, all right, well, Padres aren't going to finish too well in the standings, so we're probably going to be picking early. I want to get to know this kid and jump on it early. Mm-hmm. We were the first to meet with this kid. We met with him at summer. Before any other team, we met with him at summer. And normally we don't do meetings until the fall. So we met with him that summer. And always on the phone, with his dad on the restaurant out there in California. Okay. And, go to the restaurant, just sitting having conversations with him. And it's like, okay, well, it's all right. Well, we're going to make this one happen. Obviously, he went first overall, and big salute to Royce Lewis. He's doing his thing with the Minnesota Twins, and they got a ball player. But me and a couple of guys in the organization, we still kind of communicate about him. Yeah. And that's one where obviously he went before us, so there was nothing we could do about that one. But it'd have been interesting to see had he been there at pick 3, what decisions or what route we would have went with that one. So
that's dope. That's dope. Mm-hmm. That's dope. Corey?
2 good questions, man. Have you ever been in Wayne County, Jessup, Georgia?
I have. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Any good talent down there?
It's we there's a running kind of joke or tab, I should say, that we scout guys in the loop. The loop, obviously 285 loop, and here in Atlanta. And there's the parts that stretch outside of the loop, kind of the loop outside the loop as well. And South Georgia is one of those where it's like it's almost like the dark side, and you get those guys. Now I'm from Columbus, which is technically central, but as far west you can go before you get to Alabama. So, but consider in Atlanta, it's South Georgia. Mm-hmm. So I'm all about going, south and finding talent, because that's where some of the better ones are, Corey. So it's one of those where I love to go south. You won't get a lot of guys that they make that one trip. I go see this guy, but I love to go south. And we hadn't had anyone since my 3 years coming. My 3 years here in the area. But I've passed through. We made some stops, but just to that level where it's that pro ball level, not quite yet. But the South Georgia is on its way, and I'm ready for it, because again, it's I call it home. And so I'm ready for these fancy scouts to get outside this loop scouting, what we call it, and go down south and find some of that talent down that way too. So,
second question, I know you were saying like G was just saying, you can't get hung up on a guy that you had your eyes on, because there's always the next new hot. Paul Skeens, kid from LSU, I guess, but he was in your California area out there.
I had him, yeah, yep.
Did you ever?
Yeah, I had him. So he was COVID year. He was 2020. He was a high school. He was a high school senior in 2020. So obviously we got shut down early, like right around mid-March, March 12th, 13th, around that time. And he was one of the last guys I saw. And Paul Skeens was catching, and he would come in relief.
He was catching.
He was catching. He's 6'6" now. At the time, maybe like 6'3", 6'4". Still strong, and it's like, nah, man, like what's this? Like, this, yeah, you're not catching, man. Like you know, how you gonna fold up back there? And and he was a little raw. He was crude back there behind the plate, but he always had a good arm. And he said, like I said, he came in as a reliever, and I'll use this because we use this like, oh, he's COVID year, but I'll use it as somewhat of an excuse, but also as what my initial thoughts were at the time too. Was he came in relief. And he was kind of scattered and spotty all over the place. And it's one of those like, all right, he's got some arm strength, but high school reliever. And you put a high school reliever on the kid, that's the kiss of death, so to speak. And it's like, okay, well, he's got to have to go to college and prove himself. And you know, it's one of those where, and he started Air Force, spent 2 years at Air Force University, spent 2 years there, and then went over to transferred over to LSU. And but I put in my text group not too long ago because Skeens was just on pitching, you know, a couple of days ago. And the day before him, another kid who was from Southern California was pitching. And I said, can you guys believe this guy was a catcher? And I put him in as a high school reliever. And it's one of those, I put like the big eye emoji and said, whoops, I missed. You know, it's one of those like, I mean, he's an ace in the making here. And obviously go one more, and he's got real stuff. And I said, nah, I don't know if he's gonna be able to start. You know, he's a high school reliever. So, but yeah, that's how tough this game is. It's not easy, guys. Yeah. You're wrong more than you're right, you know.
Good stuff. Good stuff. OG.
Hey, I guess my last question is, I guess to me, Major League Baseball just did something I think personally is outstanding, and that's recognizing the records of the Negro League players. What is your thoughts and feelings on that? And what's been the talk, I guess, since you were in the Major League Baseball, as far as them going out and recognizing the records and accomplishments of these African American players?
Yeah. I tell you, you know, initial thought was it's been a long time coming. And in other words, what took so long? But that's just initial thoughts. And now as it's kind of, and I've done some work and read up on some things, listened to some podcasts, listened to people way more smarter than me kind of come and talk and kind of explain a lot of it. I'm elated. I'm truly happy that is the acknowledgement of the Negro League statistics being now integrated into the actual official record books, because it's the official record books. It's not just, you know, separated to the Negro Leagues and Major League Baseball. No, it's the official record books. And so I'm elated with that, and even more so, you know, it's just the start of a conversation. It's the beginning of a conversation, and conversations that we've needed to have for far too long. And whether they can, you know, some can be some ugly conversations, some can be some enlightening conversations, but conversations nonetheless. It's one of those where, you know, we find out, you know, Josh Gibson is actually sits atop of most of these offensive categories. Yeah. And, you know, what some people have, you know, been holding tight to Babe Ruth, that is, and now it's, you know, you can look at it like, okay, well, it's now Babe is second, you know, and one of those where, you know, however individuals feel about it, it's again, it's the start of a conversation, and again, I'm elated to have that conversation about it, and it's so interesting. I tell you, so, and that's a great question too, OG. A couple of weeks ago, it must have been last week, I was listening to another podcast, and good man by the name of Clinton Yates. He was talking about this, and he's a columnist, writer, and he hosts a particular podcast, and he brought it up, and that was the subject of that particular show, and initially you would hear the initial thoughts from the masses were displeasure, and you heard some of the language where the Negro League stats are now elevated, and it caught him by surprise and me as well, as if elevated means that the Negro Leagues was less than, and that's never was a thing, and it never should have been a thing. Right. So again, some of the language around it can be a little concerning, but again, it's a conversation that we can have, and we can continue to read these books and sit down and talk with, whether it's our grandparents or individuals that have had conversations with some of those, whether it's the Negro League stars, and continue to get more and more of the information, continue to get more and more of the knowledge, because I mean, when you dive into some of these things, and it's so very interesting. And I'll say this: so 2017, 2018, somewhere around that time, I was fortunate to go to Kansas City and visit the Negro League Baseball Museum, and the president, the leader, the head of the Negro League Baseball Museum is Bob Kendrick. He's an incredible orator and incredible storyteller. And when I tell you guys, like, his knowledge of just baseball as a whole is like no other. I don't think no one stands next to him when it comes to just knowledge of baseball. To hear him talk about some of the things and from the Negro Leagues to where you kind of see how things from the Negro Leagues kind of paved the way for actually Major League Baseball, and it's eye-opening and enlightening. And I know we're talking stats, OG, but I kind of wanted to some of the things that kind of stood out about that was not necessarily the stats, but just kind of the Negro League altogether. A couple of fun facts. Negro League invented the All-Star game. So the All-Star game, the entire concept of the All-Star game was invented in the Negro Leagues. Wow. So, that's where it started. The All-Star game was the Negro Leagues. And then Major League Baseball said, hey, kind of like that idea. Let's implement this into our game.
Wow.
Catchers, shin guards. Again, Negro Leagues. That's where it come from. Catchers wearing the shin guards. Batting helmets. Negro Leagues. The first female owner. First female players from the Negro Leagues. And one of the more that's kind of like the most kind of the shocking or surprising. We play night games because of the Negro Leagues. Negro Leagues, yeah, they wouldn't let us into the stadiums, so we rented lights. So now we get so we can play at night. So that's where night games started.
Wow,
from the Negro Leagues. And,
wow.
I know I kind of went and took that all the way around, but I just wanted to throw that out there, and I was like, because those things that kind of I learned and heard some years back, and they stuck with me, and it's like, man, that's pretty incredible. You never would have thought. Night games, All-Star game, helmets, shin guards. So yeah.
And that's why I wanted you on here, Nick. Yeah. I'm not a big baseball head. I don't know much about baseball, but I'm intrigued, man, by everything that you're saying, the wisdom and knowledge that you have, that you've gained over your time. Man, it's huge. It's huge, man. And learning that about the Negro League. Now I actually want to go to Kansas City now. I want to go to this museum and see.
It's incredible.
I gotta check it out, man. I gotta check it out. That's
it's
great.
funny that I would say it, because initially when they offered this, or not saying offered it, when they were asking, they've been asking for years to have these stats integrated in Major League Baseball. At first it was, we'll put an asterisk by it. No, hell no. Let's do this the right way. Baseball is baseball, But I'm like I'm glad that it happened a long time coming. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. Jessica said, find a way or make one. Absolutely. I love that.
I would say, get out there. It's incredible. I mean, I tell you, I enjoyed my time when I was out there. So
yeah, nice. Absolutely, man. Any more questions, fellas? Corey? I
got to work, but I know the show's only so long. You know what I mean?
Hey man, look here. I mean, if Nick is cool with it, I'm cool with it, man.
Steve, you told me about this, a week and a half ago, and I said, yeah, I'm locked in, baby. I'm riding, so we can ride. I'm ready to go. Let's do it, guys. Let's do it.
I tell you what, now you want to finish the show on our regular schedule. If you don't mind staying with us, we talk about a few things. Like I said, it's barbershop talk at its best, at its finest.
We'd love to.
That's what's up. Let's keep the show.
Say no more.
Shell Welch says, man. Go ahead.
Say, sometimes it does get controversial. That's why I got my name. So
no doubt.
Shell Welch, welcome on. She says, great conversation with Nick Long tonight. We are so proud of you, fam.
That's another one of my cuz. Shout out, cuz Shell. Shout out.
That's what's up.
Shell and Chip, I'm sure y'all tuned in. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I was saying, you bringing people with you. That's what I'm talking about.
I told G, I said, hey, is it cool if I, invite some fam and some friends? I said, I got to let my folks know, we jumping on. So, and if y'all want to hear some baseball talk and kind of, umbrella up under some barbershop talk, let's do it. Y'all chime in. So
let's go ahead and get to it. Yeah. Let's get to the barbershop portion of it, man.
Yeah.
What's up, Steve-O? Welcome on, Not Your Average Guy. All right, man. So let's go ahead. We're going to jump into Nick, man. Thank you so much for staying on, but thank you so much for all the knowledge, bro. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, man. Those are some good stuff, man. And I would love to bring you back on again and talk some more.
Love to be back. I've enjoyed this. This is great. This is my first time doing one of these, and man, this has been incredible. No, I'm thrilled. So yeah, whenever you guys want me, I'd love to get back on. I'm right there with you, right there with you, Corey. So yeah, let's rock. I'm ready whenever.
All right, hey man. Well, let's jump into it, man. The Olympics, women have given their team, their roster for women's basketball. And one particular player was not on this list. And this particular player has been getting a lot of publicity. She's been called the darling of the WNBA for some people. The next coming. But she was not on this roster. Do y'all think it was a snub, or do you think it was deserving?
Wait a minute. We gotta reel him back in. We gotta give Nick a little bit more than just that. Now, before we do that, let me ask you a question. How deep is, I guess, your like for the WNBA?
I'll say, in all honesty, I'm not even completely on board, but I've tuned in, not just this year with Caitlin Clark and her success, and Angel Reese and all her success, rightfully so. But throughout the years, even the Brittany Griner years and all the incredible women that played at UConn those years, the Maya Moore, and that was the name you guys was kind of stumped on in the previous show. I saw that. It's like, as soon as it came up, I was like, oh, that's Maya Moore. That's Maya Moore. She's a Georgia girl, so I knew that you guys were talking about Maya Moore. But yeah, so even going back then and years before then, obviously I knew about it as a casual fan. Okay. And now kind of as I wouldn't call myself a novice fan, so to speak, but I do some research on it, and I watch Sports Center like most everyone else, and I hear the headlines, I read the headlines, but I dig into it a little bit more. So I don't just do the headline and that's it and get my own opinion. Like I kind of want to dig a little more, and so I've been following along with whether it's the controversy or just the much needed light shed on the WNBA. So yeah, I've been in tune.
Okay. So good. So let me ask you, what is your opinion of how her first 11, 12 games has been, to you in your eyes, and I guess in the view of the WNBA?
Yeah, I think she's a rookie, and she's playing as such. She's being treated as such, and I think that's the great thing about this professional sports altogether. Obviously, Caitlin is who she is, and she looks the way she looks. But we let's put it around and take it to every major sporting the major sports there are, and rookies are rookies, and whether they're treated that way and they come with a certain level of respect to where they have to earn so much more, and regardless of what you can do on the court or on the field or on in between the lines, whatever the case. you have to earn some of that respect, and not just by what name you have on your back, and I think like she has taken her bumps and bruises as a rookie would. The high scoring numbers that she put up when she was at Iowa, that kind of so to speak has come back to earth. Again, guys, this is professional sports. It's not amateur anymore. So I think that to answer you, Corey, I think it's one of those like she's a rookie and outside of the noise that have come with it, she looks like a rookie.
Okay. Cool.
Cool.
So to go back to the initial question that G brought up, haven't heard left off of the United States roster. You said that's more that's warranted.
I mean, so I had an inclination that we may talk about this. So again, guys, I kind of done some little homework on this.
No problem.
So also left off that roster was a young lady, Arike
Ogwinning.
Yes,
Yeah,
that one. Was putting up 27 and 5 and having an incredible year. And my apologies for botching her last name, but she's an incredible player. And so in that same discussion, on that same sentiment, was Caitlin snub? Was Arike snub? Let's put them two together. You know, and I get it. Caitlin comes with this the sachet that she has. Yeah, exactly. And but it's you're going against the world. Like, there's going to be some snubs. Not to go too deep into that to the bank, but some argue that that 92 Dream Team and Isaiah being left off was a snub. I won't get too deep into that. No, I don't want to veer off or anything. It could have been a particular way. I know that was for you, OG, Mr. Controversial. I know that's probably right up your alley. That was softball for you, but no, that was every year we can kind of look at these things and even this particular one, if I'm not mistaken, Ant-Man, and he's off that roster if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if he was on the men's USA team.
Kyrie, it's a bunch of.
I'm sorry, not Ant-Man. Kyrie, that's the name. Ant-Man is on there. Yeah, Kyrie, you're right. Absolutely.
Yeah. I actually agree with what you're saying. I don't think this was a snub. Like you said, I thought Arike should have been in there. I thought, if anything, she was more of a snub than Caitlin Clark was. For me, I don't think the Olympics is a popularity contest where like the WNBA is, All-Star. If she don't make the All-Star for the WNBA, that'd probably be a problem. But I don't think the Olympics would be a problem.
Yeah, All-Star. Yeah, she's All-Star. Yeah, go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
I think she would definitely, she would definitely have to be on there for the All-Star. But Olympics, hey man, you go on there. This is bragging rights. You go on there to win for the USA. So I think on that note, man, I feel very confident with the team that they have, even though I think they was going to win regardless anyway, because I think the women's basketball is just that much better than everybody else out there. But with that being said, I don't think this was a snub.
So listen, I've said this. Listen, I know. Look, OG up there, he going like, if he can get out that box, he can. We said this here, and this has been me and G for a couple of weeks now. This is they've waited 25 years to have a marketing tool like Caitlin Clark, and finally it's here. And what we've been saying for a long time, man, and look, we've been fighting OG for weeks at a time, show after show, about this young lady and what it has brought to the WNBA. Can you give me your thoughts on, between her and Angel Reese, the rise that has happened with the WNBA, if you've seen any at all?
Well, I'll say that this, probably some unpopular opinions here, unpopular takes here. I mean, Caitlin Clark is far better as a basketball player than Angel Reese. She didn't mistakenly go 1-1 overall.
Okay.
So as a basketball player as a whole, she's a better basketball player than Angel Reese. To how she's being treated. Again, it goes back to she's a rookie, so she's being treated like a rookie. Angel Reese is being treated like a rookie. I think all the young women that are rookies are being treated as such. It's just that we have that microscope solely on those two, whether it's bigger on one, smaller on the other, finer on the other. but it's it feels like it's solely on those two, and whether it's a conversation starter. And I know Stephen A. stepped in that bed with Monica McNutt last week, and Shannon too. I'm not gonna give him a pass. They both stepped in that bed, I think. But a conversation started nonetheless. And for those individuals, as my assistant, I'm new to this territory. I'm new to this lane. I'm willing to listen and learn. But just from what my eyes can see, Caitlin is a better basketball player than Angel, and that's just the way it is. And I think as the better player, that comes with some you're gonna have to be a little more tougher. All those the better ones, the MJs of the world in the early '80s was knocked around, and you had to be tougher, and to eventually shine through, and all those guys, the Kobe's of the world, and it's I think it's in all sports the same way. Baseball is a little different, because the way the game is played, but it's a and I guess I'm kind of doing a G thing too, kind of in my matrix, kind of, exactly.
Because I'm about to say, that's my question, but that's cool.
Ask it again. I'm gonna give it to you straight up. Ask it again.
Is this a movement? Like this Caitlin Clark. See, we call it the movement. Do you see it as a movement for the WNBA?
For newcomers as my such, yes. For individuals that's been into obviously the women, the young ladies that are playing in WNBA, and all the fans they've had from day one, and fans they've had from 10, 15 years ago. No, they just it's in order. I think it's like waking up, going to work every day. It's par for the course for those individuals. Whereas like myself, it is a movement. I'm tuned in. I got it's two more eyes, that are locked into what's going on. And I've called to I watched part of the draft because of the movement. I've watched some of the NBA, not just Caitlin Clark's games, because of, if I said NBA, I meant WNBA. Because of the movement, so to speak. So again, a movement for again, individuals that are new to it, like myself. So for me, yes, it is a movement.
Welcome to the movement. Welcome to the movement. Yeah.
Okay. I think it is.
So y'all welcome him to the movement, but he's saying I don't hear y'all argue with him like y'all argue with me. So she's basically saying the same thing I've been to. Whoa, can I finish?
No.
I call you a newbie. I say for a newbie, you excited, you everything like that. But for one that's been out there watching this, the years that I have, I'm not as excited as you and G happen to be because of Caitlin Clark. And then you and G also want to go and say that, she getting abused, she get beat on, she get picked on, or whatever the case may be. Y'all have a tendency to say that too. But I guarantee you when you say anything about Asia Wilson getting knocked in contact, getting out, nose getting bloody, ding upside the nose the other night. Y'all won't say nothing about that.
She got scratched above the nose.
You didn't see it. Don't even say it.
My wife saw it. She had two scratches above her nose.
She had a piece of cotton in the nose from earlier when she got busted in the nose.
A piece of cotton in her nose. Okay, I get it.
See what I'm saying? Y'all on this pro Caitlin Clark. So Corey, I know you were upset by it because you said it's snub because you said they're not chat. I definitely don't think it's snub.
I didn't say she was snubbed. I didn't post that. G posted that, but at the same time, I read it.
Let me go back and look at your comment. I got it right here.
I posted that. Okay, anyway, I am a Caitlin Clark fan. Let me tell you something. I am. I'm a part of this new movement. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. The WNBA, these two jokers brought me into. And yes, I've been watching it. I'm a part of this new movement. I had to my credit, I was watching Caitlin when she was in college. The first 2 years. I remember I mentioned it on the show. Hey, listen, this girl can hoop. And I've been respectful of the fact that she can hoop. Now, at the same time, I am a fan of good basketball. I'm a fan also, good baseball too, but I'm a fan of good ball playing, good ballers. Now, I've been trying to get my point across to my OG up here is before now, the WNBA or the masses, marketers, they hadn't hooked their wagon to any of these horses out there. It's been good hard basketball. But now there's a story to tell behind the money that they're putting behind it. Behind, like you said, $2.8 million here, a $28 million shoe deal. There's somebody that they want to see behind it. In past, they hadn't had that. And all I was trying to tell the OG, I ain't saying this had nothing to do with the players that came before her. But now there's a star to make it. And the first thing was, let's get these girls on some chartered flights. No more, waiting to see if they can get on, or listen, you ain't got an extra ticket. There's a movement that's happening. And that's all I've been trying to say. And that's what we've been watching. A movement.
So yeah. I'm gonna go back and quote this. I posted the list, right?
Mm-hmm.
I posted the list.
Yeah.
No, don't go back to the old now.
Go ahead.
He made a statement saying, do you have a problem with this roster? Who made a comment?
I said I do.
Yeah, and what'd you say?
CC ain't on the list.
Contradictory to what you just said now.
Yeah, I forgot that, but I did put that. I'm admitting that. I did. I wanted to see her on it. In the past, because in the past, the WNBA, NBA, they normally have one rookie. They normally have one person that's straight out of college just to get the experience. Put somebody on it. You know what I'm saying? Do the same thing. And on the Dream Team, which Nick just brought up, who do they have on the squad?
Christian Laettner.
Mm-hmm. We talking about the Dream Team. We talking about WNBA.
I'm just saying, on a good team, you supposed to bring one. You bring one, and you know how many people would have been watching.
So you think people not gonna watch now?
17,000 more do an arena.
Hey, a lot of people
in WNBA, man.
A lot of people are saying they're not going to watch now, which is a shame.
Yeah,
because they're making it something that is not.
Right. I've been trying to tell y'all. Y'all want to hear it.
Like I said, the Olympics, I think is for their 12 best people, and I don't think she's part of that 12 right now. Yeah, the hype is, but I don't think she is part of that 12 right now. But when I say when the All-Stars come, she better be on the All-Star team.
Yeah, okay. And
if they want to keep growing that WNBA, they better put on that.
So it's all about one person, like I said. All about one person, like I said. And did y'all look at the All-Star team roster?
I did. I'm about to pull it up for us. The Washington Mystics, they went to a bigger arena this last game when the Indiana Fever came.
Of course.
17,000 they filled up.
I just hope that the hype continues. Don't let it be
No, you don't.
Because if it's not, y'all not gonna be able to stand me on here. I'm telling you. Y'all putting all these marbles. I told you about putting apples in one batch and one of them apples fall. What's gonna happen?
All right, so here go the list, y'all. All right. So we have Ariel Atkins, guard. I don't know what she plays for, OG?
You got a different list because I don't see Aaliyah
Ariel Atkins.
You don't see her?
Aaliyah Boston is third.
Yeah, Aaliyah Boston, Shakira Austin, Chelsea Gray, Brittany Griner. Is this not the list?
That's not the same list I saw.
I want to say Brittany Griner's on it. Did she just make her debut back? She got voted in.
Yeah, Brittany Griner on it, but I didn't see Ryan Howard on here.
I might have somebody else then. Hold on. What is this? I done pulled up something else. Y'all know I'm good at that. Lord have mercy.
Oh my God. Look, while we doing this, I want to welcome McKinley Bryant on the show. That's Bobby's daughter.
Oh, hey, what's up, McKinley? All right, here we go. I think I got it, y'all.
What's up, boo?
Yeah, that's more like the list there.
That's like, all right. Nafisa Collier. All right. That actually, okay. Kalia Copper. That is Phoenix Mercury. She's actually one of the kids I coached, his cousin. That's his cousin. Chelsea Gray, Brittany Griner, Sabrina Ionescu, Jewel Lloyd, Kelsey Plum, Brianna Stewart, Diana Taurasi, Alyssa Thomas, Aja Wilson, and Jackie Young. So we have 4 Las Vegas Aces on this squad.
4 aces.
That
The OG love that right there. But yeah, listen. Oh my bad. Hey, Malia's on it too. I'm sorry. Go ahead, guys. Now listen, I'm like we saying, Nick. If Caitlin or I'm using and or Angel Reese are not there, listen, it's gonna be a problem. They both need to be.
That's not what you've been saying. Don't
I'm
try
just
to change it.
no. I've been adding Angel Reese in the past couple of weeks. Have I not? G?
Past couple of weeks. No. Stick with your original premise. Your original premise was not. Your original premise was not Caitlin Clark and Angela Reese. That was not your original premise. That was not your argument all along. Don't try to change
Since the WNBA season has started, I've been adding Angel Reese. Before then, what's I have? Have I not?
You have been pro 100% CC when this WNBA season started. Now you've been trying to bring Angel Reese in.
I'm the one who would say it's Caitlin Clark thing. This is Caitlin Clark. They're trying to make her the face. They're trying to make her the face. And you be like, why can't they both be the face? There's only one face of the league. They'll never have two faces of the league. There's only one.
Nick, who's the face of the league?
Asia Wilson.
Mm-hmm. Tell him again, Nick. Tell him again. I've been trying to tell him that.
Asia.
Tell him again.
Asia.
I've been trying to tell him that.
Is the money back behind Asia Wilson?
It's not. I mean, we go back to what this country kind of built on now. Like,
right.
Caitlin Clark, she looks a certain way.
And,
try to tell them. They don't want to hear that from me. They don't want to hear that from me.
We hear it from you every week. We just don't agree with you.
Right. But
I mean, okay, so I don't mean to jump in on top of you, but okay, well, and granted, he's an old timer now, so to speak. Is LeBron still the face, or is it Joker?
Joker's not the face of the league.
I honestly don't think we have a face of the league right now.
They want it.
I think they want. I think LeBron. He was, but I don't think he's been it the last, I guess, year and a half, 2 years. I think they've been, like you said, they've been trying to give it to somebody else. But he's the last one to hold it, I guess you would say.
Now let me ask this too. Now, is there a distinction between the actual face of the league or the individual is going to just similar to what Caitlin does? The individual is going to drive the talking points or drive the headlines. Because when it comes to LeBron's headlines versus Joker headlines, LeBron's still getting that A block. He's going to continue to get that A block. Just like Caitlin's going to get that A block. Because of the namesake, so to speak. So, and that's a kind of a good kind of like talking point. Is it is it just the who's getting that lead story, or is it actual like, hey, the best player in the game right now, to carry that torch?
That's a great question. That's a great question.
That would be me saying that, and Nick wasn't on here. I would be getting all kinds of slack.
I'm gonna tell you right now. OG, you wouldn't have said that.
Not like that at all.
I may not say it about that, but who have been saying the best player in the league?
Okay, even with
the best player in the league,
you have been saying that, but at the same time, all we've been, at least I'm gonna speak for myself. Yes, she is the best player in the league. She got the championship. She comes from a great pedigree in college, but the marketing, like I said, the tools behind wanting her to be the face, she was never, she was never anointed the face of the league, right? She is the best player. Like the last couple of games, she's been kicking ass. But she did that last year. Huh?
Last 10 games.
It don't matter. I'm just the last 10 games. Yeah. Even with that, the last 10 games. But ain't nobody been talking about it. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like you just said, the color line has chosen to put their money behind what they want to see. Now, outside of it being a color situation, which we've been trying not to do, that's what people want to see. They want to see hooping. And I said this on the last show. I don't want to see a bloodbath. I don't want to see fights when I see my ladies play. I want to see some good hooping. Now, in the past, I asked this question to my co-host here. In the past, the WNBA has had a reputation, even now, of saying we are tough. Why do they have to be tough? I just want to see some good hoop. What do you want to see when you see the WNBA?
I want to see some good hooping, but I also want to see some women that's scrapping too, and not scrapping where it's coming like throwing blows, but it's similar to what we get in the NBA. Like them guys, obviously the league has changed, and rightfully so. It's not as, you know, and I use air quotes for this, as tough as it once was. You know, as it was in the 90s and 80s, and needed to be. But it's just that they're women. Like they still balling. Like let them get out and scrap a little. That's what they did. You know what? Them young women have done that growing up when they were playing in you know, in rec league all the way up through middle school, high school, and college. So why be different? You know, I used to, you know, blow the whistle and be officiating some middle school and high school games, and I've done some women games. And and once I got to a point where I thought I was, you know, I'm a solid official, you know, running up and down this court. And I would do women. And you talk about, you know, fighting, you know, slapping and clawing. That's just that's their get down, you know, because it's, you know, that's their toughness. Whereas, you know, the men, I mean, obviously bigger and stronger, you know, and can move and contort bodies a little different ways than women can. You know, that's the women's get down. You know, that they're gonna scrap, and I'm okay with it. You know, I think, you know, it's, you know, whether that's called toughness or it's just that's the WNBA and that's how their game is played. Then that's just, you know, did we complain 30 years ago about the NBA when it was, you know, the bad boys in Detroit? You know, I got great, completely different now, but it's just, you know, it's just kind of what it is.
Okay. I learned what I'm about to start doing. If I'm not stupid, do it instead of raising my voice and getting all with y'all. I'm about to stay calm like Nick, and then y'all might listen to what I'm saying in the future. So maybe I'm gonna start taking that approach.
You ain't been calm for years now.
So you're right. I mean, he got that swagger. So I need to come up with that swagger too. And maybe
I told you got that swag, dog. You got that swag, boy. He too smooth.
I don't agree with him 100% either. You know, it's a good answer. You know, this man, he been doing that for a while. Yeah, he's smooth with it. But no, I agree with you. I agree 100% with him. I like his answer. Sure, we all do. Hey, listen, you know what we're gonna do here? Get out of here. The movement, I'm still moving. I'm still on the way. But at the same time, I appreciate your answer, big homie.
Yeah. No, the movement is Caitlin Clark is help move this thing, man. Like he said, we have new people, we have new eyes watching it now. So that's a movement. That's a movement. Of course, it's not a movement when the same people are watching. It's a movement when you get other people coming on to watch, man. So that's what movement is. You can't move. We can't move when you're just by yourself, baby.
Facts.
I like the movement is keep watching. The movement is to keep watching. Don't stop.
Right, don't stop.
Fall by the wayside.
Yeah, the movement got to keep going now. This train is going now. Everybody just got to keep on going. Keep on pushing that train up, man. That's all. That's all. The last laugh podcast. That's what. Say that twice. The last laugh.
That's big country.
Yeah, big country, man. Salute to the pedal, man. Salute to the chat. Appreciate you, big homie. Jane Lil John. G, Nick is cool, but not cool as me. All right, let's go. Let's take this thing to the NBA, man. Great talk about the WNBA. Congratulations to all those women that made it to the Olympic team. And I like what Caitlin Clark came out and said. Look, I gotta work on. I gotta work on my game. You know, them women made it because they deserve to be on there. So I'm happy for them. So that's great, man. That's great. The Dallas Mavericks and the Boston Celtics. The Mavericks took a beating in that first game. Took a beating. 17 points down in the first quarter. Tried to claw their way back. What adjustment do you think they need to make to try to tie this up, man, going back to Dallas? And I want to start with Nick, man.
I mean, I think that the A and B or 1A and 1B, you know, and Luka and Kyrie, they got to be that 1A and 1B. Mm-hmm. You know, I think the stars got to be the stars. I mean, it's the NBA Finals. You know, this isn't game number They play 82 games. This isn't game number 61 and 62.
Right.
This is the NBA Finals, and I think the Stars are what. Granted, it's a 7-game series, yes, and you may have a slow night. Their slow night was game 1, 3 nights ago. So,
Right.
I think the Stars have to be the Stars. That's why, whether we crown them Stars or whether they are their talent says that they're Stars, they have to be that in order to to claw back into this and not saying the series has gotten away, but to claw back into it and make it to where more competitive. So when they come back home in Dallas, then whether it's down 0-2 or 1-1, the Stars got to be the Stars. And I think that's just the way it is. And especially in these series, in my sport, our sport, baseball and basketball, when you play series, the Stars got to show up, at some point. You can have an off night, but, the Stars have to show up. So.
Good point.
I hope you're right. It's 61-63 right now. So
I just saw that. Yeah.
I'm hoping that they are showing up. I'm like you. We saw that slap box contest last week, and they got to get big. So I chose the Mavs. But I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm a fickle fan. Like they know this on the show. I will change. Just because if you doing bad, I change it. No, I don't like y'all. That's only in basketball. But.
So you do it in the midst of a series or in the midst of a year? Or you in the series?
Series.
I'm done. I'm done. I get off your train real quick. If you embarrass me,
you out of there. Huh?
Then I act like I ain't told you. Look, I chose the other team now. Look, like I said, that's only in basketball. I do that because we pick a lot every week. But I'm like, yeah, I do agree with you. Stars have to show up because last week they did not. And I think Mike Tyson said it good. Everybody got to play until you get punched in the mouth. And when you get hit first, you kind of stagger in it, and they trying to figure it out. But right now, it looks like they sticking with them. But it ain't looking good. Now, if they go down 0-2, I'm changing my pick.
No, you're not doing that. It's documented. You took Dallas. You're not doing that in time. We're just sliding on the way.
I'm going to win either way it goes. Go ahead, OG.
Steve already knew you was doing it, dog. He said they're down 0-2. I'm switching. He already said you going to do it. OG.
I just think that in the first game, I think that Kyrie and that the supporting cast for Dallas, I think the lights were too bright for them. I think that's what hurt Dallas in the first game. Now they seem to be doing a little bit better tonight, but I think the biggest thing for Boston to keep doing is to keep Luka playing defense. I mean, make him work on defense, make him get tired. So in the fourth quarter, his legs get him, and he won't be able to take them threes. I think that's what they got to keep doing. I know Jason Kidd was trying to put that punchline out there by saying Jaylen Brown was the best player on the team, trying to throw that little punch in there to get that controversy going within the team. I don't think it worked, but I think if I pick Boston, I'm sticking with Boston. I just think it's their year. Like I said, for two reasons. I think they go win, and number two, I want them to break that tie with the Lakers.
And number three?
Huh?
And number three was?
I know number three. That was it.
No, it was.
What's number three?
He's just
a hater. I will never pick a team named Dallas.
Right. Look.
Oh yeah, that shouldn't have forgot that. That definitely shouldn't have forgot that. I can't pick a team named Dallas. That's for sure. That's the number one.
Hey, and so like y'all all said, man, yeah, the stars have to be the stars. Kyrie cannot play as bad as he played in this next game. But I think for me, man, they have to be more aggressive against Porzingis. I think they let Porzingis do whatever he wanted to do. He actually got that team rolling on that 3 days ago. You know, he came out, and I was shocked that he came out after not playing since we the first series. You know, and he came out aggressive. But I thought shots, everything, man. I didn't really see too many. I didn't see the bigs go at him. Lively didn't go at him. I think he played a little too timid. I think you have to make him play as well, and that's where it had to start at. And And I think if they do that, man, I think they have a chance. I don't think they would shoot as bad as they shot. They're a pretty high scoring team. They won't shoot that bad again. I saw a lot of bunnies that they missed that they won't miss in this next game, man. So those are they miss it still.
I was gonna say, man, like when you just said that, big air ball from Reed, like, yeah, they can't miss like that. He hit the rim or nothing.
Yeah, and, I was high on Kyrie because he's won a championship, and closed out a championship. So I figured like he's about to come out and be the aggressor, and it didn't work out that way, man. So I hope this one is better this game, man. I got my glasses on, so I can't see what the score is.
63-69.
Oh, 63-69.
Yeah.
Okay.
Celtics. Yeah.
Listen to him now. No, Corey. It's documented that you picked us. You're not gonna change the championship, Steven.
Boy, my boy playing, boy. What you talking? I ain't gonna lie. I had Ant-Man and the Wolves, going further. They just, once they out,
You can care less. What do you think, Nick? Before we finish the show, man, do you think Ant-Man will be our next face?
I don't know. To answer that as brutally honest as I can, I'm gonna say I don't know. Okay. And here's the thing: me and my dad, we talk a lot. We talk almost every day, and it's you talk about barbershop talk. I think he's tuning in tonight too, and we shout out to you, Dad. Thanks. We argue all the time, and we talk sports all the time. We argue about sports. Let me say that, but it's one of those where me personally, I'm kind of not on the whole crowning someone because they have an incredible series or a small portion of they have a moment in time.
Okay.
Just go back 3 years ago, guys. We were crowning John Morant as the greatest, and he hadn't done anything, and he hadn't done anything at the time leading up to then. And I love John Morant. Love what he brings to the game, the excitement, this, that, and the other. And I think he's an incredible ball player. But crowning John Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies as this is next. And what Golden State did to him is like, all right, well, hey, you guys are next, but that next is still a little down the road.
Ways down the road,
a little ways to go. So I'm kind of big on just I need to see it. As we use in baseball, we need to see track record. So I need a little more track record with Ant-Man. And I love him to death. He's a Georgia boy. So definitely, pulling for him and rooting for him. But I just need to see more of it before I'm ready to just kind of jump out there on that. I'm not one of those where I'm like, all right, because I don't want to switch back and forth. So, if he's at that point where, let's just say like a Joker is, where it's just an unstoppable like force in basketball, then I'm like, all right, well, hats off to you, man. You are now official. You were it. But I just need more than a 20 game stretch in a series where you showed out. Can you do it again next year? And can you do it for 60 games and then carry your team to the finals? And now you kind of you're kind of scraping through that that ceiling, kind of grabbing going to grab at it. As opposed to, you have these flashes in the paint, flashes in flashes of moments. So I'm not ready to say that yet. I don't know whether it was, I think it was maybe somebody over here said it, or it was one of the comments that if we have a face or someone that is that actual dude, I don't know if it's yet. And that's fine. We can just have some, be enjoying, sit back and enjoy some really good basketball from, from each team. So, and have some moments from individuals, whether it's from Ja Morant or from, Ant-Man or even LeBron at his age and Steph Curry and KD guys and still Joker too, if you love, good basketball. So
there's some good players out there that are good, but they don't want the crown. They don't want to be the face, So,
a lot comes with being the face. A lot comes with being the face, man. So,
no doubt.
It's you know, so you gotta really want it. You know, I think Ant-Man wants it. I think he actually wants to be that guy. So I that's why I'm kind of putting him out there as the next face. I think he has the drive. I think he has the personality to be that for what the league wants. You know, so I go with that. We got a question out here, man, from the chat. Nick, who was your NFL team?
Man, I'm the Falcons all day. You know, I believe red and back, baby. Yeah. A-Town, rise up. Yeah. I'm with them all the way. I don't care what happens. You know, we go 0-17 now. I'm still riding with my Falcons, baby.
Okay. Yeah. we gotta bring you back, man. We gotta bring you back. Golly, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, rise up.
Well, you gotta make some time for it. You gotta make some time during the NFL season, brother.
Yeah. I know I'll be here.
Guy, but yes, man.
Well, football is my first heart. It's still there. It's still deep down. So you know, I love me some football. So I can talk football with the best of them. I just know a little bit more about baseball. So yeah.
Okay, cool. At least
Hey, he gonna need you because we be on him during the football season.
I see. Well, we got the NFC East, you know, the Cowboys and watching the Commanders and everything. So
it go down, man. It goes down. Nice. Okay, cool. Man.
So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this out here, man. We will be having a tailgate party for the Dallas Cowboys Atlanta game. Nick, I'll keep you abreast of what's going on, where it's going to be at, man. We're going to have like a meet and greet on that Saturday. So me and Corey, hopefully OG will come down, man, and we'll all be we'll have somewhere, man. Music, food, and everything for all the fans, man. So it's going to be pretty big, man.
Nick, do you golf? If you don't mind me asking.
I do golf. Yeah, I do golf. I try to get out there. I beat the ball around a little bit. You know, if my cousins are still on, they may not chime in, but they would have something to say about it. But I get out there, I tee it up and try to find it. How about that? You know, I tee it up and try to find it again so I can hit it again. So
there you go.
I love the game because it's one that you know, no one, even the best at it, will ever conquer it to the point where it's golf is undefeated, you know. That's why it's, you know, par and under par and over par. So
nice. Okay. That's what's up.
But I do love it though.
Well, good, man. We will definitely keep in the loop because we are having our first annual charity golf tournament next year.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
we've done two with Adaptive Life Foundation, and now we ventured off on our own, man, and we're going to do our own. So we will definitely keep you in the loop, man.
Thank you
for that. And then, I'll play all the time, man. So
okay,
I'll hit you up.
We got a link.
Yeah, we got a link for real.
Things will slow down for me here as the summer kind of prolong, and my season to kind of taper a little bit. So I got a little more time. So
okay, yeah, absolutely, there, bro. We would definitely do that, man. We'll definitely do that. All right, fellas, man. Episode 9 in the books. Hey, man, what a great episode, man. Thanks once again, man, to my guy. I told y'all this guy was one of the best, the coolest, man, humble, man. Nick Long, man, thank you so much. Glenn McCree, appreciate you, my guy. He said he's still on.
That's my cuz. That's cuz. He thought that golf talk with me, so I can't say too much because he gonna kind of come in and kind of speak some of the truth. So we'll just leave it at I tee it up and I hit it and I try to find it. So I will leave it at that. So.
Well, we will all hook up, man. We'll all hook up and do that thing, man, for sure. So that's awesome. Let me go ahead and turn our music on. All right, there we go.
Nice.
All right, man. Everybody out there on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, appreciate y'all rocking with us. My guy, Steve-O, not your average guy. Glenn McCree, man. Appreciate you rocking with us, man. Thanks for following. Thanks for jumping on. James Littlejohn, Roddy Littlejohn. Kanisha Davis, always been a loyal supporter. Last Laugh Podcast, my guy, Big Country, man. Appreciate you, big homie.
Jessica Long.
Oh, Jessica Long. We can't forget the backbone of Nick Long, man. Thank you so much for allowing him to spend some time with us. thank you for always being there for my guy, man. She's a great person as well, man. I tell you, both of them together, man. Hey, 2 peas in the pod, baby. I love him. All right.
Al Lassiter.
Al Lassiter, my T-Mac, McKinley Bryant, Malia Bryant, Eric Thornton,
Stacey Ward.
Yeah, Stacey Ward, man, Shell Welch. Oh my God, it's
all your people here, Brandon.
That's fam.
That's what I'm talking about. DH2090. That's your people too. That's Lady Hitter. Oh.
I don't know. I have to see. I got all these text messages. I'm going to have to see. I don't know.
There's a Chris Pearson.
That's my dog. Chris Pearson in the building. What's going on? Brandon Long, my dog. Appreciate you, man.
Be long.
My beautiful wife, Crystal Wright. I know you saw Crystal the other day when she was talking about, because I didn't know who it was. I wish they had a sports podcast in Atlanta. that new sports.
Shell Welch?
Yeah, Shell
Welch.
Yeah, Shell Welch. Hey, man, we thank y'all. We love y'all. Remember to keep your head on a swivel and keep God first. We'll see y'all on Wednesday at 8 o'clock, man. We out.
Peace. Big Steve-O. I holla. I hope your son is doing well out there, brother, after the surgery.
Yeah, I hope the surgery went well, man. Yeah, seriously, baby. I love you so much. Jessica, thank you so much. Nisha, thank y'all. We'll holler at y'all.
The chat line was on fire, bro.
G.